Hello, my name is Diamond Bailey, and welcome to Regent Park's Past, Present, and Future, a series where we discuss and interview with local communities, which we will discuss about Regent Park's history as well as what it become. So today we are joined with Rona Bailey, a lifelong Regent Parker, who is here to discuss her experiences about the neighborhood. Welcome.
Thank you for having me today.
So, when did you move to Regent Park?
I moved here when I was 6 months old. That would be March 1979.
So, what was it like growing up in Regent Park?
It was fun, eventful. You got opportunity to learn all cultures. It wasn't just predominantly black. When I was younger, there was every walk of life that was here. All types of income. As a child, I participated in everything from Boys and Girls Club, Kiwanis K Club, to Dixon Hall, to Salvation Army. They all had their different programs and stuff. I also attended Regent Park Focus. I was one of the students for Adonis's very first programs. As a kid, there's a lot of opportunities, a lot of camp. I always had something to do.
Yeah. So during revitalization, you had to move away from Regent Park, and then you moved back.
Yes.
Why did you decide to move back to Regent Park?
When I moved out of Regent, I decided to move out of Regent because I had you first. And then I said, you know what, it's time. I had to go to school, and I ended up going to school out of town. I lived in Niagara, Sarnia, Thorold, St. Catharines, Stony Creek, Hamilton. I found everywhere that I moved, I wasn't comfortable. It wasn't home. I couldn't call that home. And resources. I couldn't find a lot of resources that I needed, or, parks or support for a single parent, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I got the opportunity to come back to the city, and I just applied again to come back into the neighborhood as a subsidized. At that time, I wasn't working. I was on assistance, but now I am currently working for a while now. And this is the place to be, because I do have children that are on the spectrum. So when it comes to like autism resources, daycare, day camp, schooling, it's down here, downtown is the hub for that. So that's why I decided to come back, and it was a good choice.
So have you experienced or seen any changes of Regent Park before revitalization and now?
There's differences. There's sure big difference, little differences, big differences. The most major for me was a lot of the stores, mom and pop restaurants are gone off of Parliament Street. Everything's been revitalized, not just the buildings, also the community centers, you know what I mean? Also the staff. With that being said, when you're in a community like this, like Regent Park, you have a lot of staff that is always there from when they were teenagers straight through until their late adulthood. So when I came back looking for familiar faces, it was kind of scrambled. But away from that, some of the grocery stores, even though some people, mom and pops, moved away, they didn't move too far. So I could still go there and access that.
So as you said before, being a participant in Regent Park Focus, how do you think Regent Park Focus has helped the community as well as the youth that live in this community?
I've been a youth myself, and still till now, I find that Regent Park Focus, they've gone through many names, many names for this hub, but it was focused. There was always a focus on youth. You know what I mean? So for example, myself, I didn't have any interest in camera or media, arts or production, but I liked science and I liked outdoors. So we did a photography / camera project thing. And that's when I started having love for media all over, just sound, production. And it got it going. And then also I got an opportunity to meet other youth from outside of Regent Park, because they got an opportunity to come into Regent Park Focus. And so you'd have youth from Blake Street, Bleecker, Esplanade, Alexandra Park, so on and so forth, around here that would come here. And because they lived outside of Regent Park, they didn't know what Regent Park offered. And so when they went back to their community, they kind of told their supports and, their counselors, hey, this is what's going on over here. And, that kind of what made Focus special. You know what I mean? And I'm happy to see over 20 years later that Regent Park Focus is still here, and they're still pushing the same agenda. You know what I mean? And now it's a hub, because before when I was when I went to the one of the first programs, it was in a room
Yeah.
in the community center, in the old South Community Center, and now it's the actual hub downstairs. They have everything, and I'm just like, whoa, this is really, you know, big. Like for me, I'm glad somebody stuck to it. And to
Yeah.
me, that just shows if you really, really want something, just keep going at it. You know what I mean? And this is exactly what's here, Regent Park Focus. I like that.
So you're a student nutrition coordinator in Nelson Mandela Park. What is it like coming back to Regent Park and working with the community now?
When I came back to the neighborhood, I was working in a different environment, and I wanted to get out of that. And it wasn't working well with my family. So I decided to ask questions in my neighborhood, which is really good for Regent. You know, ask questions, you'll get answers. And somebody told me there was a position at Nelson Mandela Park Public School, and I applied because I have that kind of background. And with that being said, I found another sense of love for Regent. You know what I mean? It was just like, I know a lot of the parents, but I don't know who the children are.
Yeah.
So once I started working there, it was the opposite. I realized I was talking and working with all these children. And then so when we had spring concert or parent interview day, I would see people that I knew, that I grew up with, coming in and saying, hey, that's my daughter, that's my son. I'm like, really? Oh my God, that little bird, oh my God.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that going on. And, you know, it's a new sense of pride. It's a new sense of pride, and I feel like I fit in. I feel like I'm from here. This is for me. You know what I mean? And I enjoy it. Every day I do really look forward going to school and working with the kids in the neighborhood.
So you being raised as a child in Regent Park and now being a mother and having kids, do you believe that Regent Park is a great place to raise your children or family?
I do. I really, really do, speaking from experience. I was born and raised here. I don't have any criminal records. I've never been in any gun shootouts. I was never forced to take drugs. I've never got into, you know what I mean? If this neighborhood is like any other neighborhood, you hang with the wrong people, you're gonna, that's what happens. If you just like life, if you just keep it moving and keep it going, and you kind of know what's wrong and what's right, and you steer yourself in the right direction, you'll be fine. You know what I mean? Violence is everywhere in the city of Toronto, especially this year. You know what I mean? So I feel like Regent Park, it's a name. It's just a name, and it's the place to be. It's really the place to be.
So have you found that there's a stigma placed on you when you tell people you're from Regent Park?
Yes. Well, compared to when I was younger, it was, oh, you're from Regent Park, I'm not coming there, why would you live there? A lot of my family members never visited when I was younger.
Yeah.
Now, I guess because of revitalization, there's so much glass everywhere and not bricks. Everybody's like, ooh, so pretty. It looks so different. And now I'm starting to find family members coming through and visiting. And now they are also looking into renting, purchasing, a home around here.
Thank you, Rona Bailey, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for watching today's edition of Regent Park Past, Present, Future. I'm your host, Diamond Bailey, and I'll see you next time.